Okay, good evening. Let's try this again. Apparently I am not as versed in YouTube as I thought it was, so I'm going to do some training on for myself for that here in a little bit. But we are now using Google Hangouts, which I'm very comfortable with, and we'll see what we can do. So I'm going to start off by sharing my screen and showing and walking through what we expect to do today. So today we are going to get started with finding ways to create a form. For those of you that have never used a Google form today, we are going to walk you through that. We're going to go through the parts of a form. We're going to look at the different types of questions or pages that you can put in your form. And we're going to look at how to make it a quiz, because a lot of teachers, this is why they use Google Forms, because they can make it a quiz. And then we're going to look at what that data looks like. And then we're going to give you some time to share and look at the data and graphs that I've created. So with that being said, my name is Tammy Neal. I'm so thankful that you are here today. I am a Google certified trainer in North Florida, the part where there's no palm trees. And we are great. I am very thankful that you are here today. So let's jump in and get started. Most of this is going to be going on through a screen share, and I'll be talking you through it. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to jump into the chat and let us know, or join the live broadcast and go from there as well. So let's do this. Let's screen share, go over here, and I'm going to screen share a new tab. And in that tab, there are two ways to do this. You can go through your Google Drive and click here on More, New, More, and Google Forms, and create a blank one or open up an existing. Okay, but the way that I'm going to show you is through the shortcut. And I hope you can see this up here at the top. We're going to go to forms.google.com. And that's all we need to do to open up a new form. So we get some templates. You see some things that I've done before, some template galleries that we can just go through. And again, that's forms, forms.google.com. And so we're just going to open up a blank one. And this is just a blank untitled form. And if you don't mind just a minute, let me roll this slide over to the other side screen for a second. And here's our blank form. And so we're going to walk through the parts of a form. So right up here on the top is where you can title it. And you can title it here as well. So I'm just going to call this one Practice Form. And when I click up there, it takes the name from there. And now I can change it to something else if that makes sense for me, or I can leave it right there. It'll also allow me to move it to a specific folder inside my Google Drive if I want to organize it that way. Or I can just leave it in the general Google Drive, because with Google's dynamic search engine, you really don't have to organize it, but if you want to, you can. Okay, so this is the form name. This is also the title of the page of the Google form. You can put a form description. You can put a lot of text in this form description, but it can only be text. So you can't put images in there. You can't put graphics or anything like that. No video, but you can put links to things in there as well. So you can put any text items can go here for your form description. Okay, so there are your options. There's your description of the form. Okay, right over here under settings, we have some general options. Okay, so these are your settings. I'll cancel this out and go back to the gear. And there are your settings. Do you want to collect the email addresses of the people you're giving this form to? That is entirely up to you. It may be that you do. I know that when I give a form to my students, I collect their email addresses just so I can make sure it's them that's turning in the form and not someone else answering for them. You can limit it to one response. So if you're dealing with a quiz, it might be you just want to let them go in once. You can decide whether to let them edit after they've submitted. So if you do this, you'll get a link, and that link will allow them to go back into the form if they save that link. And do you want them to see the summaries and text responses? And generally speaking, I don't turn that on. I leave that off because I don't want my students to see the answers to my quizzes or how anybody else has responded. So in presentation, you can show the progress bar. So if you've got a long quiz or a long form and you want people to know how much longer they have to work, you might want to show them that progress bar. Shuffle question order. So if all of your questions are, if the order of the question doesn't matter, you may want to do that. I don't typically do that because I want my name to be at the top. And I'll show you that in just a minute. And the order for my questions then is very, very important. Do you want them to be able to submit another response? This goes back and kind of ties in with can they edit or limit to one? So if I want them to be able to link to another to submit again, I can do that. And this is really cool here. I can put, just like the description from our form, I can put a lot of text here in my confirmation message, including links to other forms or links to other work or YouTube videos or anything like that that I would like to share once they've completed this. So your response has been recorded is the default statement that everybody gets. But if you would like to change that, you just type over it and you're good to go. I've just changed my confirmation message. Okay. Quizzes. Do we want to make this a quiz? Now, we'll come back to this in a little bit and walk through these after we've made our first quiz. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just save these options. It's not going to make any changes to the way it looks at all. Okay. It's not going to make any changes. So the other thing that we have up here is preview. This is where we're going to go if we want to see what our form looks like. It would actually allow us to submit sample data if we wanted to, and that data would show up in our response form. And we'll look at that in just a little bit. So I can either click here to go back to edit, which you'll notice that it opened in a new window, or I can just close this and I'm back to my editing screen. And that is preview right here. So customized theme is the decorative artsy side of Google Forms. You can choose images. We're going to give it a second to catch up. There we go. So there are some standard that are going to come up, or you can go and upload photos, or you can go to your own albums. So if I wanted to, and I'm just going to scroll through here. Okay, this beautiful ice snowflake looking thing. And I'm going to choose that. I'm going to let it do its thing. Notice it changed the header, and notice my theme colors have changed. It actually goes into the picture and pulls out the colors that are most prominent and most designed to go with this. So I can change my theme colors if I wish to. And it will make just ever so slight a difference. You can also, this is my background, so I can change and make this darker if I would like. And I can choose my fonts. There are lots of basic, decorative, formal, which is what I use when I'm doing a a quiz or something like that, or playful. So you may want to do this. This is a lot closer to that Comic Sans, and if you're into that, good and go for it. Okay. So those are our theme options. That's right there. And then this one is for add-ons. So these are some of the things that we'll be doing in some of the other sessions, is looking at these add-ons and what they do. They allow you to manipulate the form or the data so that you can do other things with it. And we'll be touching base on that tomorrow afternoon and on Friday. So catch that at tammyneal.com/training and support. You'll be able to see those schedules. Okay. So the very first thing that we really need to do, though, okay, one more thing. Send is what we do to send it to someone. You want to collect their email addresses. You get one more option there. Most of us use the link, and I shorten it. Did it shorten? There we go. And I shorten this so that it's not taking up a whole page. So you can share it out through Google+, and I don't know how much longer that's going to be there. Share it via Facebook or share it via Twitter if you want someone to see your form. Or you can embed this in a Google site, which we may work on sometime in January. We'll do some sessions on Google Sites. So this is something that you can just click this and copy that, all of that stuff there, and embed that into a Google site or any other site for that matter. Okay, so let's get to the type of questions. Okay, so this button right here, this round circle with the plus, allows us to add questions. And one thing about Google Forms is that the question, they've been collecting data on all the forms that everybody has done for so long that there are certain words that automatically go with certain types of questions. So if I were to put here name, notice that it jumped to a short answer automatically, because the majority of people who put name as a question choose short answer. So Google already knows that. So it's a shortcut that it gives you automatically. Notice that I'm allowed to insert an image. I can put some short answer text in there as well. I can show the description. So if I wanted to put here, please list your first and last names for our records, I could put that there. And I'm going to come up here and preview. And when I preview, you'll see that it shows the description. Okay, so the description is shown right there under name when I do a preview. And I'm going to turn preview off. I can choose to duplicate this question if I have something similar. So if I wanted to do a first name and then a last name, I could duplicate this and just go in and say change first to last. I can also decide whether this is a required question or not. Okay. And then here's our three dots. If I wanted to verify that the answer was in a specific form, then I could come in and choose to verify, okay, regular expression contains a pattern. And I could verify that that text should be, so if I wanted a phone number, I can verify that that text is a certain length. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, and this question is one that I added. I'm going to go ahead and click multiple choice so I can see all the options that I have. We just saw an example of a short answer. Paragraph, that actually allows more text than a short answer, but it does not give a rich text formatting option. It's just a text box for people to type in. Multiple choice allows me, let's go choose a color. Let's just use the colors of the rainbow. red. Oh, spelled red wrong. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Indigo is the way that I was taught. And if I wanted to choose add other, that would allow somebody to write in their choice. Now, I can delete any of these over here that I want to delete. And notice as I hover over any of them, I can add an image. So if I wanted to add an image there, that icon, anytime that icon shows up, I can add an image in that location. So if I wanted to choose something that was red, I could take a snapshot from my webcam. If I already knew a website, if I had something in my albums, if I had something in my Google Drive, or I can even search the web for something red. Oh, look, there's a red square right there. And notice when I hovered over it, it said Wikipedia Commons. That typically means that I have the rights to use it. So I can click that and let it do its thing. Okay, let's try this. Select. Something went wrong. Okay, let's try a different one. Let's try the red heart. There's our red heart. And I can come in and choose something. You go to search and click orange. And choose something orange. And if I wanted to add pictures to all of those, I could go all the way down. Notice there's a big X, so all I have to do is click on it for it to go away. Again, I can make this a required question or not a required question. That's entirely up to the user. So I'm going to come up here real quick and do a preview so we can see what these questions look like. So notice that it gives us the image spots. Okay, that only happens if you've included an image. If you haven't included an image, then you get a list. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to remove these images. And then I'm going to go back and preview again. And notice that now they're just in a list. So if you put an image in it, then it will put the images side by side. And if you don't, it'll just give them to you as a list. Okay. I'm going to do a new question. Notice it goes to the same type of question I had last time. And there are just various types. Checkboxes. If there are multiple answers and you want someone to be able to choose as many as possible, checkboxes may be the right choice for you. So these are multiple choice or round circles. Checkboxes are squares because you can actually choose more than one. Drop-down menu. If you want to have a drop-down menu, you can add as many options to your drop-down menu as you wish. And so like I use this for class period. So I would come in here and go. So forth and so on. And notice here, I've got these little 6 dots. That means I can rearrange my answers any way that I wish by just clicking and dragging. And you have the same thing, same option in multiple choice. So if I wanted to rearrange these, I could definitely do that. So again, I can duplicate. I can make it required or not required. I can show the description. Okay, so if I wanted to then put some text, a new title, a new section, I can put a title there, and I put some text in here. On to the current topic, or whatever I wanted to put there. Okay, I can put a description, and notice that that is optional. And I can show description or not show description. I'm just going to leave description off. And I'm going to put another question. And we can also actually ask it for students to or anyone for that matter, to upload a file. So this tells us that it's going to be uploaded to our Google Drive. And we're going to continue with that. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Okay, so please share your photo. I wanted only specific file types. I could say I only want images or drawings. Okay. How many files are we going to let people upload? Maybe I just want to let them upload one. Maybe I want to let them upload multiples. It's entirely up to the user. And then depending on how much file storage I have left, if I'm using my EDU, my school account, then this really doesn't matter as far as how much storage I have. But it does matter as how long it's going to take it to upload. So if you want something that's very, very quick, then you want smaller file sizes. But again, that is up to you. So it says this form can accept up to 1 GB of files. Do I want to change that? I'm going to leave it at 1 gig. Am I going to make this required or not required? That's up to me. Okay. So yes, I can add an image in here at any time. And again, I can do the Google search and I can go with support. Select that. There's my support picture. Notice I get the 4 corners, which means I can make it smaller if I want to make it smaller. My 3 dots allow me to align it the way that I wish. You've got this. Keep up the work. So you can put pretty much anything there in the image header that you want. You can add a video from YouTube. You can add a section. Now this is really important. So it is very easy to add a section. And notice here that you get the option of which section to go to. So if I had multiple sections, I could ask that this person jump over this so that I could create sort of a hidden section and go back to it later if I needed to. And this is more advanced forms. And so we'll be talking about this option later on. You can even ask it to submit the form right at the bottom and not ever go to these, which I don't know why you would do that. So I'm just going to say go to the next section. This is section 2, which is really, your users will see this as page 2. So they will see all the other stuff is gone. Here's a new set. Okay. And so this is section 3 or page 3. Now, here on section 3, I'm going to add a multiple choice question. Now that I have sections, I can go to different sections based on my answer. So if I have a question here and choose the right answer to move on. This isn't it. Not this one. Here you go. And I want to choose the right answer. Go to. So I can go to, I can say, nope, you're going to go back to section 1. This one's going to say, stay on this section. And this one's going to allow me to move on to the next section. So depending on how I answer, that'll be where I go. And again, we can preview our form. So here's my name. Choose a color is not required because there's no red star. I can choose my class period. I don't have to add a file again because there's no red star. I can go next to see what my next one looks like. And nope, this isn't it. And it's going to send me right back to the beginning because that's what I told it to do. This one's going to leave me right there because that's what I told it to do. And this one's going to allow me to go on to page 3, which doesn't have any questions. So now I can submit that, which I'm not going to at this point. So this is where we're at this point. We haven't turned any of this into a quiz yet. I want to come down here to section 3, and I want to put one more type of question down here. And I am going to do, okay, so just like multiple choice questions, you get to choose one, and checkboxes, you get to choose many. A multiple choice grid or a checkbox grid offer the same kind of options. Okay, a linear scale is one of those that says from 0 to 10. Where do you stand on this? So a multiple choice grid, please choose one per line. So row 1, and I'm just going to enter these down. 5 rows, 2 columns. Okay, I don't want to make, I can require somebody to answer for every row, but in this case, I'm not going to do that. I want to show you what this looks like through a preview. Okay, so I'm going to put my name in. I don't have to choose this. I don't have to choose class period. I don't have to upload a file. I can go ahead and click next. I want to move on, so here's the right one. And now I have my rows and my columns, and I can only pick one per row. So they can all be column 2. They can all be column 1, but none of them can be column 1 and column 2 at the same time. None of them. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that one. And we'll come back and look at that here in just a little bit. So I'm going to close out my practice form. You'll notice now that I have one response because I've only submitted it once. Okay, so I have one response. Okay, so let's come in here, back over to our settings, to quizzes, and I want to make this a quiz. Okay, I then get to decide whether I want to release this immediately. Do I want them to get their grade immediately after they click submit? And in some situations, you will. Or do I want to come in and after everybody's gotten done, do I want to give them their grade? And so you may want to do this as well. This turns on email collection because this is the only way that you can come back later and send them their results is through email. Do we want them to see their missed questions? Yes or no? Do we want them to see the correct answers? And do we want them to see the point values? It may be important to you that they don't see any of this. But I'm going to leave these all checked for now because we're just doing a sample quiz. So I'm going to click Save. And I want you to notice now that we have an answer key option that popped up. On each one of these, come in here, we have an answer key option. So it's required us to collect email addresses because we're going to send those answers later. So the answer key, I'm going to say this is 0 points because their name is not going to be a question that I grade. Choose a color. Choose my answer key. I need to choose an answer. Are they all going to be right? And how many points is that quiz going to be? Okay. Do I want to give them feedback? I can give feedback based on whether they got it wrong or whether they got it correct. This could also be a link to a video or some other website that they look at to learn. Okay, so I can choose however many correct answers that I want. Class period. I'm going to leave this as 0 answers, but I am going to make it a required question because for me, class period, in fact, I'm going to, notice we've got our 6 dots. I'm going to move this one up above choose a color. Okay. Upload a file. Answer key. However many points. Do I want to give some feedback? Do I want to edit the question? Gives me back to the edit question. But as long as you set your points, you notice now we've got 8 points total. Choose the right answer. And I can go into my answer key, make this one 2 points, and set my correct answer and move forward. Because remember, Google saves everything immediately. Okay, my rows per line, I'm going to come in here, answer key. I've got 5 rows, so I'm going to make each one of these 1 point. And I'm going to choose the right answers. Okay, so I've got a quiz, which is now a total of 15 points. Okay, and the preview is what your students are going to see. So, what's your email address? It tells me if it's not me, then I need to change my address. I'm just going to put that in there. My name is Tammy. I am in first period. Red. This one's not required, so I'm not going to worry with that right this minute. Next. Here you go. And I'm going to get a couple of these wrong. And I'm going to click submit. Okay, so I didn't let it show me the right answers. I didn't let it show me any of that stuff. So I'm waiting for the teacher to come in and release. So we have 2 responses now. Okay, so I can see the question. If I want to see the question, this is all question 1, and I can decide. I can see the ungraded response, and I can decide how many points this gets. So this is 0. I can then discard my edits or save my edits, and I can move through. Oh, gotta stay and save your edits. Class period, so I can see who. So this one, in my first response, I didn't leave an email address. It was just response 1. So this is out of 0 points, so I'm going to move forward. Choose a color. I got this one right. Yay. Now, I could all set this to submit immediately, and these would have automatically been graded. But because I didn't, I need to go through and grade and score. Oh, say, make sure that's saved. Next question. So it won't let you even go forward. It will remind you you haven't saved anything yet. Okay. Blank. So we're going to get 0 points. Mark incorrect. Save. Choose the right answer. Mark correct. Oop. Didn't save it. Next question. I got 1 correct here. I got this one wrong. And I'm going to save that. Okay. So I can also come in here and see the individual I can see what each person did. Okay, so this person got 9 out of 15, and this person got 9 out of 15. Okay. I can come back to summary, and I can click release scores. I can send a message as I release the scores, or I can just send the emails to release scores. I'm going to come over here, and since I did put my email in, I'll bring that up here in just a second and show you what it looks like. So this is what your students would see. Your scores have been released from practice form. You got 8 out of 15. And if I want to view it, it will let me go and see what I reviewed. Okay. Okay. So we have our questions. We have our responses. So it's collecting. You'll notice here that there are some charts. It's collecting the data from within my chart, from within my quiz. But there's another way that I can see this data as well. So this is within Forms itself. I can see my score distribution. I can see as I hover over it. And then the other cool thing is that these graphs right here, I can copy this chart and paste it into a Google Doc or a Google Slide and share this data without it being right in the middle of my form. Okay, but the other thing that I can do is this little button right here called Create a Spreadsheet. Click Create a Spreadsheet. If I want to, I can name a brand new spreadsheet, or I can select an existing spreadsheet to attach this to, and it'll attach to a new tab of a spreadsheet. So if I'm keeping all of my Google Forms for first period together, all of their responses for this year together, I can have one spreadsheet, one Google Sheet that has the responses from all of my Google Forms, each in their own tab. But for right now, I'm just going to create a new spreadsheet. And there it's going, it's creating it. There's all of my data. I can go across and see how did I choose on each one of those multiple choice gridded responses. And this is the one where I didn't require the email address before I tried it out. So that's why there's no email address in there. Now we will come back later on tonight at 6:00 p.m. Eastern, and we will talk about what we can do with all of this data and how we can share it and manipulate it through Google Add-Ons. So hope that you can join us for that. But again, you get all kinds of charts and options available within your form. And, you know, would really love for you to create a form and share it with us. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen share. Stop screen sharing. There we go. Would really love for you to create a form, put it out in our Google group, our educator group there on Facebook, and let us give you some data to play with. That really is the most helpful. If you have some data that you can just go in and see how it all works, and you can adjust your form on the fly. You don't have to have it perfect the first time. You can go in and make edits, and the next person that sees your form sees those new edits. So that's really helpful as you're getting comfortable with Google Forms. So I really hope that this has been useful to you. I hope that you've gotten something out of it. Don't hesitate to shoot me an email. My email address is tammygneal@gmail.com. And I'll be more than happy to help you with any Google Form questions that I can. So until 6:00, hope you have a great day, and let me know how it's going. I'm ready to help. Bye.